So this is the yin yoga or relaxing yoga. So this is more recovery, just total relaxation. So it won't be a lot of vinyasa flow or anything like that, nothing like that. So we'll be doing very limited moves, more breath work, more things like that. So we will get started. So if you have your pillow or blanket and you want to sit into either easy seated, or you can sit into cross-legged position. I'm just gonna come on the edge of mine. Can you see me back there? Okay, I'll make sure you can see both of us.
I'm fine.
Oh no, you're getting in the picture. So my name is Activelyamber. Sorry, this is my mom. Just call her mom for today. So she's joining us. She had broken her hand, so this is much better yoga for her. It's the more relaxing, slow, so that we don't mess with her hand and get down too much. All right, so we're just gonna go easy seated. You can do cross-legged, whatever position you would like that's easy for you. I usually just like to get on my pillow so I'm a little bit higher up. And then the knees are down so that the hips are up. So Nani can, or I call her Nani, sorry. So Nani, you can put something underneath, like she's got underneath because her hips do not open as well. She has issues with really tight hips, so she can put something underneath. Mine are pretty good, so I can just lay them down on there. But if I needed something, I could put a block, a blanket, whatever. She's got my foam roller, so I love that. All right, so what we're gonna do today with this slow, very intentional movements with yin yoga, we're gonna start with breath work. So, I don't know, Nani tried this one other time, so we're gonna see if she likes this. This is going to be alternate nostril breathing, which is called Nadi Shodhana. So we're going to be doing alternate nostril breathing. Did you have trouble last time doing it in and out?
Actually,
So, oh good, because it helps to clear. Because in yoga, you want the yin and the yang, right? You want the right and the left to work together. So with breathing, when we typically just sit here and breathe in and out, we may or may not, one nostril may be blocked. You don't know exactly until you forcefully are trying just to breathe through one nostril. You can really notice it at that point. So this helps us to kind of make sure the right and the left are more connected at that point. So, which is kind of exciting, right? So we want to balance out the system, detox what we want, and make it all better. So I'm going to show you guys how to do the mudra for that. And so typically you only do your right side, but with me, I'm mirroring, it's going to be my left, and mom with her arm, with her broken arm, will do this side for you guys. Hopefully that's your right side. So I'm going to show you, it's called the Mrigi or Mrigi mudra. And what we're going to do is we're going to take down the index and the middle finger, just bring it down so that all I have is I have my thumb and I have my ring and my pinky finger hanging out. And so what we'll do is we'll keep our elbow out, and we're going to use our thumb and we're going to use our ring finger when we kind of alternate. And we're going to try to keep our elbow up. So the other hand can just be palm down on just receiving, absorbing from the earth, or palm up and absorbing from the heavens, whatever's more comfortable for you. Sometimes it takes a little while because we don't want to let our elbows down while we're doing our thing. We want to keep it up and active. So to start, what you're going to do is you're going to take your Mrigi mudra, which if you can see, the thumb, and then you've got the ring finger and the pinky's all you got, and then the two are closed down. Mudras are, they're really yoga for hands, so they're not meant to be easy. They're meant to like concentrate and make sure you can get them in the right spot and hold them, okay? So what we're gonna do with our elbow out, other hand wherever you feel comfortable, we're gonna take it first and put the thumb right here to the same side that we have the arm to the nostril. And we're gonna breathe in deeply through the other side that's open, okay? So for you guys, I should have my right hand, right nostril. I'm gonna breathe in through my left. When you can't breathe anymore, we're gonna let go. We're gonna put the ring finger on this other nostril and breathe out. Keeping the ring finger there, you're gonna breathe in on the same side. Release. Put your thumb back over here on the original side and breathe out. You may get noisy, it's okay. Breathe in. Release the thumb. We're gonna pull the ring finger to the other side and exhale. Then we're gonna inhale, and as you notice, the exhale is typically easier. The inhale is a little, is the one that gives you issues. We're gonna release, put the thumb, and we're just gonna keep doing this, alternating. Exhale, through the nose only, and then inhale. Release, ring finger, exhale. And then inhale when you're ready. Exhale. Switching to that thumb. The other side. Inhale. Switching again, ring finger. Exhaling. Inhaling. And then when you're done, we're just gonna release our mudra. Your fingers will be like, oh, so your arm. Go ahead and put it down, and we're just gonna return to the normal kind of breaths for a second. See if you can feel, do you feel anything? Do you feel more openness in your nose? I always do. I feel like I've inhaled a big old wash or something. I feel like I can tell it in my sinuses in here. I don't know if anyone else can, but you'll start to notice that you'll concentrate. You'll see, oh, one side felt kind of blocked when I was breathing. You can always kind of tell that. Yeah? So yes, you usually, just like you have a dominant hand, dominant leg, you're gonna have a dominant nostril too. So you can tell, like right now, if you still feel like one is shut off, you can go back and you can do it. You can do the numbers that they usually like. We like 7, 14, 21, rounds of 7 up to 108, you know, those kind of things. It does sometimes can be exhausting, or you won't be able to like breathe out of one side, but keep going. Just work it up. I just kind of do usually like 7 or so, and then we'll go back to normal breath. So that was the Mrigi. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's close enough, right? Mrigi mudra, and that's for the alternate nostril breathing, which is the Nadi Shodhana. So hopefully that helps to clear everything out. So today our main intention is to clear out waste. And so clear out waste. We're going to detoxify. We're going to clear out the air. So with mudras, I'm going to tell you guys, I'll get a little closer so you can see. Typically, the thumb is going to be your fire center. The air is your index. The middle finger is your heaven or earth. Heaven or ether, sorry. Ring finger is the earth, and then the pinky is the water. So when we do a few more today, we're going to be working with our wind, air, those kind of things. So we're going to be working with a lot of those today. So those are just some of the methods of why they choose the different mudras and what they mean. Okay, get back into my little position. So we were talking about the best thing to do for the wind. So we have wind. So Nani loves this one. I have a son. He talks about wind all the time. No. So today, cracking me up, we're going to talk about the benefits of like detoxifying. If you feel bloated, if you feel just full of wind, what you can do for that. So I'm going to teach you a few things today. Nani's going to laugh. Hopefully my son won't come through. He needs this, of course. You know, little boys always need this, but they're a little giggly, so they... don't actually do so well. So we typically have certain ones that we'll do when we're sitting here and trying to meditate, but while we do our breathing at the beginning, I do want to focus on one that's for wind. So for the Vayu, we're going to do the Vayu mudra next. So I'm going to show you for what we're going to do. Index is air, right? That's what I was telling you. Index is the air. So for Vayu, we're going to take our index finger down, and you're going to kind of put it down towards the base of the thumb. And what you're going to do is then you're going to take the fire, which is the thumb, and you're going to put it over the wind. So we're covering up the wind, okay? Covering up the wind, trying to decrease wind in the body, kind of calm it down. So that's why the index finger, which is the wind center, and as you can tell, like your fingers all want to go together, so you may have to help it with one. Put your index finger down a little bit towards the thumb opening, and you're going to put your thumb over it. So like that. Perfect. Excuse me. See, it's already happening for me. So we're going to do both hands if you can. If you can only do one, that's fine. So index will come down. I'm going to cover over. Okay. So this is my Vayu. This is going to be my wind. I'm going to control my wind today. So what we're going to do is releasing the wind, releasing the fullness, helping with gout, which can be wind that's in the joints, or sciatica. So if you want to, let's go ahead and put it down in your mudra on your knees. This is the Vayu mudra. And what we're going to do is we're just going to do some Ujjayi breath with this one. So as we sit here, comfortable position, and I may, since I had my legs one way earlier, I may switch them. You can if you want to. I just like to keep switching, that way one leg or one hip, it doesn't get as tighter than the other. So what we're gonna do for our alternate, or not alternate, oh my gosh, I just went blank. For our Ujjayi breath, Mom knows about that. Keeping it right here with our 3 fingers are pointed out, just kind of relaxed. I've got my pinky down and my thumb is covering it. This is a really active one that typically they recommend you go for like 45 minutes when you're meditating. We're not going to do it that long. We're just going to show you in brief how to do it, and then you can do it yourself like in the morning when you wake up or at night before you go to bed. And so what we're going to do is do our Ujjayi breath. So in and out through the nostrils, all we're going to do, just slow breaths, intentional, and think about what you want to get out of today. What is your intention today? Is it to just learn new things? Is it to relax? What is your intention? So we're going to start with inhaling and exhaling slow through the nose. So the inhale, you close your mouth and inhale. And then when you cannot do any more, then you're going to exhale. And you're going to repeat over and over your own breath. Hopefully you'll start to hear that kind of guttural in the back of the throat when you're breathing, kind of like a mini Darth Vader. And if you want to, pick a spot. You can pick a drishti, which is a spot that you want to focus on, a spot that's not moving in front of you, or you can close your eyes and just relax down. Just breathing in and out through the nose. Since we're focusing on wind, you can also imagine while you're breathing in that air, while it's coming through the nose, that it's going down through the back of your throat, down through your windpipe, into your lungs, going into those small little alveoli that are really important for expanding and helping lung function. And then as you exhale, you're helping to push those out, and you're bursting that energy up through the lungs, up through the windpipe, out through the nose. And just think about it as you breathe, how it flows in, all the great oxygen that you need, and then how it flows out, all the toxins that you do not need. And just keep concentrating on that. And when you inhale, Relax the belly so that you can fill up the lungs and the belly. And as you exhale, you're kind of pulling in that belly just to help. Y'all are doing good. We're going to take 2 more full cycles here. Last cycle. Beautiful. Y'all can release your mudra, wiggle your fingers around. We held it, you know, probably maybe 5-10 minutes, but 45 minutes is a good time. Work your way up. Try for like a 10-minute, 15-minute goal. Just back to regular breathing for yourself. We're gonna take a water break, so hydrate. Hey Garrett, forgot my music. Where's your phone at? Like, why is it so quiet in here?
I know, I thought something's different. Garrett.
Where's my Google help here? Thank you, sir.
You're so sweet.
So sorry, you guys. I was getting my 3 devices set up and forgot to get my music together. I'm like, oh my goodness. So we're going to actually, with wind, one of the beneficial moves for you to do is cat-cow. And I posted it, I think yesterday, as the yoga move of the day. And so cat-cow always helps. So we're gonna go to cat-cow and do a few cycles there. So let's clear out some of our props, kind of get a little room on here for you to get into all 4s.
And this is my llama.
That's our friend.
My friend.
And you'll probably need your blocks because of your wrist, I imagine. So that you don't, I don't want her, since she had a broken thumb area, I don't want her pushing on it, so she's gonna be on kind of a modified. And then I will show you regular style how to do the cat-cow. Do you want 2? You want another one? You might need.
Oh, okay.
Is that better? I'm like, I don't know which way. Or do you want to take the green one off and just have the other one?
Yeah.
Maybe do that. Here, use this one. That'll be your even. So she can be even, okay? Beautiful. All right, you be all even. Okay. All right, so we've got our music. Come on now. Okay. So I'm gonna go to all 4s. Nani's already there. I'm trying to get out of the way so you can see her too. Don't you to miss her. So I'll get in all 4s, she's in all 4s. What we're gonna do, we're gonna make sure our hands are below our shoulders so that it's a straight line. We're not leaning way forward or anything like that, it's just a straight line. We also wanna make sure our knees are underneath our hips and not like tucked under or not way back like an inclined plank. I'm gonna make sure our knees are shoulder width apart so that we've got a straight line from our hands to our shoulders, our knees to our hips. Feet, they can just relax back if you like. Head is just looking down, kind of neutral. So what we're gonna do with cat-cow is of course breath work. So we're gonna inhale and exhale, right? So with the inhale and exhale, when you inhale, you're going to drop the belly, kind of pull the bottom up. You're gonna pull your head up, and that's on a full inhale breath, okay? And so that's the cow position. As you exhale, you're gonna pull the belly in, tuck your bottom under, start looking down, down, and you're gonna look all the way underneath your belly, kind of to your belly button. On the exhale is your cat. And then you're gonna flow. Inhale. And then as you exhale. you're just gonna keep going with this, inhaling and exhaling at your own breath. And I'm not a good deep breather. I've had asthma for years, and I was going in my lung function cycle is not the best, and so I tend to not be able to inhale completely. So if you can inhale longer, then you have great lung function, and keep it going. Exhaling on that cat. Now as we inhale into our cow, if you don't want to be stagnant, you can wiggle or just move your hips from side to side. We call it wiggling the tail. You can just move them a little bit, kind of move your shoulders a little bit if you want to. And then on the exhale with the cat, you can round those shoulders really well, and you can even kind of move down and around in just kind of a circular motion, just making sure that next time when you come back to your cat, you go the other way. So I'll come the other way, just kind of scooching around. Inhaling into my cow. Wiggling my tail if I want to, just to kind of get some movement in that lower back. Exhaling into your cat. You can even just kind of stretch back if you want, stretching out the shoulders. Whatever feels good to you, it's your practice. You figure out what you want to do. And with Nani being on her forearm, she really can't go too far when she goes into her cat position. She can't go too far back, but she can, get her shoulders a little bit. But so then the focus for her would be on the inhale in her cow, like wiggling her hips a little bit at that point. And we'll just keep repeating. This is a great rhythm to get you through. This helps kind of move that digestive tract through, helps get the wind moving through. You've got your trachea that it helps, that's your windpipe that gets the wind going down into the lungs, or even your esophagus. Sometimes you get the wind in there, and that's when you get that wind trapped in your intestines, and you feel the gassiness or in the stomach and the bloatingness, and you've got to either belch it up or pass it the other way. But it's natural. It's something we have to do, so do not worry. You just
let it rip.
Yep. This class is perfect for my mom and my son. Just kidding. He was like camera shy. If I told him we weren't recording, he would be like in here talking crazy. But since he sees the recording, he's like stone cold now. He won't say nothing. All right, let's do one more round, and I'm just gonna do back to my original cat-cow on this round. We will all meet back in neutral, and then let's sit back down and get a hydration break or water break. Oh my gosh, this bandana or this headband is not my friend today, y'all. And as you can tell, things start to kind of come to the surface, which is fine with me. If you've got it coming up phlegm-wise, that means you are clearing all those toxins. The phlegm is trying to come up, especially in the mornings or when you're doing practice. That may happen. Just get it out. It is a natural thing, and it's your body's response to the toxins, just trying to help you with it. So. All right. I know. It gets me every time, every morning when I start practice. If I go upside down, like if I'm in down dog, my sinuses, but it's good because it's, you're assisting your body to do what it needs to and doesn't realize it needs to. So it's definitely a good one. Excuse me. So.
Would you like me to talk for you? Works good on me.
Okay, sorry about that, you guys. That was fun. She's like, no. All right, so another favorite, as my eyes are watering, sorry, is child's pose, which is just relaxing. When you're doing vinyasa or you're doing a lot of yoga, if you're on the mat and it's exhausting, or you're lost, or you're just like, I can't do what they're doing, you can go into child's pose. So if you want, we can go into child's pose. So Honey's like, I don't know if I want you facing that way, but I'll turn a little bit. But we do need a lot of props to get into our child's pose. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put up kind of like a barrier in front where we can actually lean forward and rest our chest on and maybe our face. So start building up a little, we're gonna get on our knees. So if you want, do you wanna go this way?
Yeah, I'll go this way.
So we're gonna originally be on our knees. So if you need something, if your bottom doesn't go all the way down, you can put it like right here on where your bottom could sit. But what we're gonna end up doing is we're gonna spread our knees out. I'm gonna focus on, you might need another pillow in the front, but we're gonna see how well this works. So feet are together, knees are apart. So what you normally do in child's pose is you kind of start, you start coming out a little bit so that your arms are in front of you. And if you want, what I want you to do is get these pillows underneath your chest. Not necessarily just your face, but underneath your chest. And then if you need something, like Mom is gonna need something to rest her chin or her face on, whichever way she decides.
Cool.
Does that feel all right? You know, see how she's got it rested. So she's gonna rest like that. She's got something underneath her bottom. We're just gonna move forward. I'm gonna rest my chest, which is nice. I can rest my chin right here if I like. Your arms are just relaxed. You can either kind of hold them right here, or my favorite is just putting them behind you. Yeah. Now, if you put them behind you, you may need something right here underneath the shoulder to kind of hold it on there. So it's up to you. You've got your pillows though, right? Yeah. Okay, so her pillows are a little wider. So while she's laying like that, it actually supports her a little bit better. Okay. I'm gonna put one on each side and see if that supports me. So these positions take a little while to get into exactly where you want to be. That's okay. Like this. I'm gonna turn it up. Oh, there we go. So that if I want to, shoving it everywhere that feels good, you can get into that position. Now, the trick is, if the chin is too much for you, what you can do is turn to one side, get your pillow just right, and you can just lay on one side of the face. That's my favorite when we're in the child's pose and we actually have our arms behind us. I love that part. Just resting your face and just breathing. While we're breathing, let's make sure we're keeping our ujjayi breath. So we're just going to inhale slowly through the nose, and then we're gonna exhale slowly through the nose, okay? And repeat. And this is a child's pose because most of the time you see the little kids falling asleep like this. I've been to, my friend Natalie has a class, and I love when her daughter comes. My son's a little hyper, so he never falls asleep. But her daughter, Elin, she is so cute. She will get into child's pose while we're in it, just working through a vinyasa, and she will fall asleep. And then we'll just do our stuff around, and she'll just still be sleeping. It's the cutest thing. It's such a relaxing, letting go position. You're giving in. You're just letting into the earth. You're connected with your hands, your knees, your feet, and you're just completely letting go. It's just so precious to see. So we get to act like a child. which is easy for mom. No, just kidding. Don't forget to breathe in and out through that nose. Now we'll say if you have your face turned one way, halfway through you do want to change and you want to rotate to the other side. So you may have to kind of adjust your pillow like I have to, where it's not too high. And just relax. And don't forget, you can keep your arms around if you prefer to keep your chin on when you're on it, or if you just want to relax like this, depending on what it feels like to your shoulders, okay? So you can do either position. This is all for your benefit. What feels good to you? And that ujjayi breath, breathing in all the sacred oxygen that our body needs and all the positivity that we need in life right now. And then we exhale all the toxins, all the negativity. You see it everywhere, just breathe it out. Don't let it fester inside of you and cause problems, just let it out. Just breathe. While you're in this position, you'll notice if you're giving in and relaxing to your body, you're going to notice some stretching in your glute areas and also the inner thighs. You're going to notice the more you spread out the knees, the more stretch you get there. It's just natural. And if you have your arms around your shoulders, will be stretching. And it's just nice if that's where you have, you know, the issues or the tightness, if that's where you need it, that's where you just stay there. I really enjoy the sacral area stretching, and this always feels so good in this position, just to stretch it out. It feels like it's pulling it down and kind of apart sometimes, and that's where I always have trouble. So it's always a nice, good stretch. Take 2 more ujjayi rounds here. So inhaling and exhaling. We're gonna look back forward, put our arms back out, and we're just gonna rest here for a second before we come back up out of our beautiful child's pose. We're gonna come out of it slowly. And you just start kind of pressing yourself back up. You can feel more of a stretch as you come up. You may need to put your knees a little bit closer together. Coming back up. Whew. Take a second, hydrate. We want to, on the yin or the yin part, you're gonna try to hydrate more often than you normally would, just because with as much breath work as we're doing, with the inhaling of the great, oxygen that we need, and then exhaling of all these toxins, we have to rehydrate. Oh, there goes Nani. You're okay. Are you good?
Yeah, good.
She might have been asleep.
I tell you, I almost went out.
And that's great. If that's what you need to do, you go back and you stay there. That's why I don't know, in the morning as much, but at night doing this, whew, I would be like, I'm out. I'll sleep for 12 hours. But in the morning, it also helps you just to center yourself and get back to where you need to be. So we can move our props out a little bit here, and we could do, I think we have time to where we can do laying on our back, and we can do the knee stretch. Twists are really good for the digestive system. So anytime you go into a twist, whether if you're doing like a lunge and you go into a twist, or you're into a chair and you do a twist, or even laying down with the knees and twisting, you really can get a great, it kind of helps the peristalsis, you know, in that body where normally everything moves through itself. It just kind of twists a little bit and helps it adjust to it. So do you want to do the seated one with the leg over, or do you want to lay down and do the twists? Okay, let's try to get sit on our bottom first and let's see. So so we can do the we're sitting and do the one-legged twist. Do you remember that one? She's like, no.
Probably not.
So since we were on our feet a lot, go ahead and let's roll out our ankles a little bit. Go back and forth, windshield wiper. We had a lot of pressure on the top of our ankles while we were sitting there, even though we were on pillows. I'm a popper, so sorry, my ankles.
I know, my back was popping.
My ankles pop constantly. Every joint does. It's okay. And I'm trying to get the wind out anyway and pop the bubbles here. So we'll just kind of windshield wiper, or we can rotate around a little bit so that they don't feel so stiff. Okay. So what I want to do is, say we're in staff position where our legs are out straight, right? And then normally you have your hands right here next to you. So if you want to, for a second before we move, we can inhale, flexing our feet, like bringing our toes back to us. There you go. And as you exhale, you point. Ooh, yeah. And then inhale, bringing them back. Exhale, point. Just helps because we had a lot of pressure on our feet while we were practically, you know, going to sleep at that point. Inhale and exhale. Good. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna stay in our staff position, but we're gonna do a small little twist. And the twist part is going to be, shoot, I just hit the wrong button. Oh crap. Well, that didn't work very well. Okay, so the twist part we're gonna do is staying in the staff position. But I want you to bring one leg up. So I'm gonna bring up one leg. I'm just gonna hold on to it for a second. Okay. So then we're gonna actually just bring it over. And if you need to, you can grab your pillows and everything and kind of set it right here underneath this knee that's bent. It won't be falling down too much, but it could. So you can just kind of pop them up so you feel like it has a good base right there. Okay. We're going to inhale and straighten up our back. And as we exhale, I want you to take one arm, which is the same arm as your bent leg, and we're going to turn it and kind of put it behind us. Okay? Is that okay for your arm? Okay. Don't put too much pressure on it. If you need to, we can put another couple of blankets. Good. So then inhale, straightening up, and then as we exhale, we're going to straighten this opposite arm, and I'm going to put it over to where my knee and my elbow are. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is, as I inhale, I straighten up, and as I exhale, I'm going to twist around a little bit to look back. So you can just kind of stay twisted looking at the camera, and I'll twist around and look back. And we're just going to inhale and exhale through your nose. Using that ujjayi breath. Good. And as we're twisting, this is where you know, your body is actually twisting the intestines and everything around, kind of pushing things further along the track so that it helps with, you know, your food digestion. It helps with elimination. It helps with if you need to pass the wind through that way. It's going to help just activate all those inner organs there, especially the digestive system. We're going to inhale, and we're going to untwist, coming back to hugging your leg. Inhale, exhale. And then we're gonna straighten out both of our legs back into our staff. So I'm gonna move my stuff out the way a little bit. And while I'm in staff, I'm gonna move all my stuff to the other side. Because then we're gonna prepare. So first, of course, I want you to inhale and bring your feet back up. And then as you exhale, point them down. Inhale up and point them down. Good. Inhale up and point them down. Beautiful. Come back to neutral. So now we're going to do the opposite leg. So bend the opposite leg and you're going to hug it. Hug it up to you first. Just getting yourself in position. If you feel like you need something underneath your bottom, you can at this point. But most of the time, I like to be centered onto the ground. So then we're going to slowly bring our leg over so that your ankle is near your knee over here on the other side, and just kind of move your props if you need to kind of help keep that knee or leg kind of bent. That does help. So we're going to inhale, straightening our back up. We're going to exhale, straightening out the same arm of the bent knee, and we're going to put it behind us. Good. We're going to inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to straighten the opposite arm, and we're going to put it over so that the outside of our elbow is hitting our knee. Okay, and then as you inhale, exhale, and I want you to twist around if you can. Either look to the side or look all the way around to the back of this hand. This is great twist for that back too. It helps lubricate the vertebrae. It helps get that digestive system, kind of like a wash rag, where you're just wringing out the kinks. You're helping to stretch it out. If you visit chiropractor or any kind of medicine like that, they will put you into twisting positions. They will get you kind of adjusted. This helps to kind of get your body into that normal position by itself. It's an assisted twist here. And don't forget, we're breathing in and out through our nose. Mom's gonna stare at her llama.
He's so pretty.
I think you just like him because he's purple.
Mm-hmm.
And breathing in and out. Good. Hopefully you don't have to pee because I have water going now. It sounds like I'm like, oh. Sounds like we're at the lake or the beach, the waves hitting. It's my favorite spot to be at. All right, we're gonna inhale. And as we exhale, we'll untwist back around, kind of hugging that knee again. Inhale and exhale. Good. We can move our leg back over, straighten it out. One last hydration, and then we're going to move into our lying corpse or our savasana. And so get your hydration. I moved it way too far away from me this time. Sorry. have tea, so hopefully I don't have like a coughing fit after that, which does happen. Okay, make sure you guys are still on, still doing good, okay? Got your hydration, thank you. All right, so we're gonna go into our corpse pose. So we're gonna definitely use a lot of props. So whatever you have, we're gonna lay on our back here, and then we're going to, you can use a pillow if you need, or not, it's up to you. You can use something underneath your knees and something underneath your feet. I'm gonna use yoga mats to prop up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put something taller underneath my knees because I want those higher. Smaller kind of underneath the feet here so that I kind of have an angle. Now when you lay back, if you do need something underneath your lower back, if you feel like you're kind of popping up a little, you can put another blanket or something underneath it. But it just kind of depends when you start to roll back. So you guys are ready? And then sometimes you can also put something for your arms, because when your arms are out, you may feel like they're kind of high up. So if you want a block on each side or a pillow on each side, we shall see. So you're gonna slowly roll it back. And then see, do you need something underneath your back, or are you good?
I think I'm good.
What about your arms? Do you need anything besides your arms?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Find my pillow. Sorry, I have all the lights on here so you guys can see us. So normally shut the lights down at this point. If you have some essential oils, put them on. That way you can just totally relax and not worry about anything. So for my arms, if I need something, normally my arms are just kind of out. I may need something not underneath the upper part, but maybe the lower part, just to kind of rest them on so they feel supported. Oh yeah? Oh, okay, great. We're gonna take some inhales and exhales. And if you need help getting into this position, what we're gonna do is we're gonna tighten every single muscle you've got. So you can start with, like, I always do my hands and I kind of start tightening up my chest, my chin, my belly, squeezing those glutes, squeezing the legs together, and then you kind of curl the toes, squeezing, and you do a big inhale, and then on the exhale, you release all your muscles, and guess what? They hopefully will relax completely back there. And if not, tighten up that area. So while we're here, you're just gonna breathe in and out through the nose. And let's scan our body. Are our toes relaxed? Are our legs and knees? Our thighs? A lot of times the glutes are not completely relaxed, so if so, just squeeze them together tight and relax them. Lower back. Your chest. Think about your arms. Your fingers relaxed should just kind of be relaxed and curled up. Your head and neck, if not, move your head around a little bit to where you get to the right position. Take one more good Ujjayi breath. So in deeply through the nose. Out deeply through the nose. And you're just going to return to regular breath. And this is where we just want to think of a very relaxing spot for us. What is relaxing? I'm going to go back to my water. Let's picture you're at the lake or ocean. And you're just laying there. If you love the beach, if you love the lake, you can be on the sand. It's the softest sand you've ever felt. It's not hot, not too cold. Just laying there. And here comes the waves coming up and touching your feet barely. And then they disappear back into the lake or ocean. And you can hear the sounds of them coming up to touch your feet and moving down. And if you don't want them to touch, they don't have to. They can get close enough. And if you like the sand that the water hits and you kind of sink in a little bit more, what kind of sand are you in? Is it the powdery, white, fluffy sand? Is it the one where you have a low tide and it's watery and you just kind of start to sink into it? What kind of area are you laying in? The water is perfect. Whatever temperature you like, it is perfect. It's not too cold, it's not too hot. And the water coming up is crystal clear. Maybe you see some blues and greens in them, but you can see through the water. It's beautiful. Maybe there's some turquoise, deep blue. Just coming up and down as the waves go. And while you're breathing, when you inhale, that can be your wave coming up. When you exhale, that wave is disappearing back into the ocean, the lake. Just surrounding yourself with nature and enjoying your time. Maybe there's a waterfall nearby. If you enjoy that sound of water. Or there's just a little stream nearby. Where do you see yourself at when you relax? And you're all alone, no one's around you, it's very peaceful. And perfect. Our corpse pose or savasana is supposed to be our ending, to where we've worked hard, we've either done a lot of breath work or stretched, and then we come to our reward. This is our rewarding pose. Always make time for this pose. I'm going to let you breathe here on your own for about a minute, and then we'll come back out of it. And to come out of it, you can keep your eyes closed. We're just going to start wiggling our fingers and our toes a little bit. Moving your wrists around, your ankles around. Let's bring our knees feet are bent, and we're gonna roll onto our side into a fetal position. And you can take your prop and put it in between your knees if you like. And you can put one in front of your hand if you need. Just relaxing. You can keep your eyes closed if you would like. And just breathe. We're going to slowly start to sit it up. So this hand that's bracing, you're going to start to slowly push your way back up into a seated position. Moving your props out of the way. We're going to come back to a seated position. So whatever your pillow or something for your bottom. Sink down. Moving the gluteal folds out of the way so you're on your sits bones is the best part. Kind of maneuver it around. Get comfortable. What position do you want to get into? Is it going to be the cross-legged? Is it going to be, you can do lotus where you put your foot up on your thigh, whatever you would like. We're going to end our practice with our last mudra, which is going to be our Apan mudra. It's an energizing one, but it also helps to detoxify. So what we're going to do with our fingers here, if you can see, we're going to take our thumb, our middle, and our ring finger together. So kind of like the I love you, rock on. I'm trying to think what else this one means, but longhorns. So thumb, middle, ring finger together. So your pointer and your pinky are up. So this is kind of another one that can help release your toxins, your waste. It can also balance your mind, give you more patience and confidence. So if you would like, you can either, focusing it down into the earth, or you can open, accepting, put it on your knees. Beautiful. This is Apan, okay? This is the Apan mudra. We're just gonna hold it right here. Today's intention for me was to teach you about eliminating waste, wind, and that's what I think helps to detoxify. It's very good. So anytime you need it, you can do either one of these mudras that I taught you, and you can just try with a 10-minute, 5-minute, working your way up 15, 45 minutes. And we're just gonna finish out here with a few of our Ujjayi breaths. So breathing in through the nose, and then out through the nose. Breathing in through the nose, and out. In through the nose, and out. At your own breath cycle. Let's try to do 5 more cycles here. And remember, on the inhales, we're relaxing the belly, opening it up. On the inhales, you're pulling the belly in. Beautiful. We'll relax our fingers there. Let's take a cleansing breath in, and let's bring our arms up to the sky. Inhale. Hands together in your heart center, or Activelyamber mudra, bringing it down to your heart. Exhaling. Again, inhale. Exhale, bringing it down here in between your eyes to your third eye. Good. Inhale again. Exhale, bringing your Anjali Mudra up to the crown of your head. And we will all bow and say, Namaste. Thank you for joining. Again, Actively Amber and Mom joining today. Hopefully you enjoyed a relaxing yin practice and you were able to relax, stretch it out, kind of do some deeper meditations. So thank you, and